Hello and welcome to another Rex to Riches mini-series on the Assassin class. On the first and second episode, we covered normal to hell progress and budget builds that you can farm on. On today's episode, we're basically going to take the builds from episode number 2 and try to upgrade their gear, see what they get when you invest a little bit more in them, and what's the return on the investment. With that said, let's pull up the video and see how we did. So the first build we tried on day number 3 was the Fire Trapper Zen, the Wake of Fire, and Wake of Fire on day 2 was a solid mapper. I took general times, I try to time all of my builds to see what's the average clear time, how are they doing, and all that. And on day number 2, the Wake of Fire Assassin was cleaning maps like Crypts or Chaldeum between 10 to 12 minutes. So not the most impressive time, but generally not the most awful either. The main upgrade pieces that we gave Wake of Fire on day number 3 is the Infinity, of course, the Infinity Rune Word. We took two shopped claws. We didn't do anything fancy with the claws. So no facets, nothing too expensive. For helm, we used a 2 skill helm. We used a 2 skill armor as well. And the rest was just resistances to keep us going. So generally, mostly upgrading with the Infinity, which is I think what most people aim towards to upgrade in their gear. And as you can see, the build is going a lot more smoother. We do use a lot more mana, so losing the Insight Rune Word does hurt us a little bit in the mana department. You can try to offset this with some mana regen items. You can try. We have attempted this on the stream. It didn't work too well. Traps don't give mana per kill, which makes this a little complicated to keep your mana up. Some people suggest that I use a Phoenix Shield to keep the mana up. I think for a build like this that you generally just want to farm on till you get rich and usually move on to a different build too. After you get some currency, I wouldn't invest in a Phoenix Shield for that. But you can see, even with having to pot with mana pots, since this is a build where you lay traps and you have time to run, you definitely have time to pick up a couple mana pots on the way while you're playing. So it wasn't too bad. We managed to bring down the average mapping time by 2 minutes using the Infinity. So from 10 to 12, about 8 to 10 minutes. Our fastest clear was 7.5 minute Chaldeum. And I think that's pretty solid for early on day 3, day 4 kind of situation on the Assassin Fire Trapper. So if you would like to run Fire Trapper as your starter on season 11, you definitely could. I think it's a pretty solid build. The next build we tried was the Dragon Tail Assassin. We tried Dragon Talon and Dragon Tail on day number 2. Both of them were fairly miserable to map with. They were not very strong. They took a lot of time to clear a map. So we are talking between 14 to 16 minutes to clear areas like Crypts, which is, again, in my opinion, is slightly on the slower side, 4 to 5 minutes more than what you'd like to see. On day number 3, I'm showing the gear we used in Astarians, Akira's, crafted amulet, crafted armor. These are things you can make yourself, so they're not too expensive. A grave palm, min and damage rings that we found on the way. You can just use rings for resistances, that would be okay. String of ears, again, relatively cheap. We self-dropped this. Another ring we found ourselves. And we tested 3 different pairs of boots. We tested Shadow Dancers, Gold Riders, and War Travelers. The results on them were fairly similar, even though the best boots seem to be Gold Riders. They seem to do the most damage, so up to you guys, whichever one you want to run. If you do end up running Gold Riders, make sure you up them before you use them. It does upgrade your damage. Phoenix was the shield we made, so a pretty big investment for this build. Making a Phoenix, you also need to make an Infinity because this is a build based on fire damage. The gear on the Merc wasn't too expensive besides the Infinity, so the main attractions were Infinity and Phoenix. And this is more investment than I put into other builds, so this build is more expensive to get started. So if you are kind of gunning towards this kicksin approach, you would like probably to farm as Lightning Sentry earlier in Sanctuary for a little bit more runes before you actually transition. You don't really want to transition too fast to it, or you can do something in the middle, kind of like running Fire Traps for a little while, or running Phoenix. There is another way to run this build with Stalker's Calls, running dual Stalkers for like movement, running Stalkers and another Claw, like a different Claw. You could do this. My main problem is that I didn't have any Stalkers, so we ended up not doing this, and we just headed into the maps. So from 14 to 16 minutes, we actually managed to bring down the time quite a bit on this kicksin. As you can see, on day number 2, for the people who watched, this kicksin was needing like 3-4 kicks per like mob to clear anything, and wow, the change from Astrians, the change to Astrians absolutely changes everything. Like, absolutely changes everything. We're like one-shotting most things, everything like falls like no problem. The only thing I was suddenly needing is more mobility, because I needed to go on to the next mob. So that's pretty much the only struggle I had on day 3. As you can see, if you have a Phoenix Shield, your like health and mana are really topped up for the majority of the time. Technically, you don't even need the Phoenix. Like, you can see that we're leeching pretty well for the most part. Like, if you have a little bit of mana leech and life leech, you should be fine in general. Like, you're not gonna need the Phoenix. The Phoenix is very much quality of life, but it also gives you minus to fire res. It does give you more damage as well as a fire kicks in. So that is something to consider. I was told that you can craft ED shields to kind of supplement the damage, because you do need the damage from your shield as well. So yeah, that's like something to consider if you do want to run a kicksin. It's definitely something you could do, and something you can look into. We didn't have to look into it. I just had like a Phoenix shield that I already made in the past, I think, for fire golems. So yeah, lucky me, I guess. The life of a SSF. But yeah, if you are gonna reset with kicksin on the season reset, that's definitely something you can look into. And you can kind of see like the times are a lot faster. We managed to actually bring down the time, not by 2 minutes, not by 4 minutes. We cut the time in half pretty much for our mapping. So the crypts took us, we did 2 crypt maps on day number 2, and they took us about 16 minutes each. We managed to clear crypts in 7.5 minutes on day number 3. And on Caldeum, our time was about 12 minutes, 12 to 13 minutes at least on day 2. And on day number 3, we cleared 5 minutes and 5.5 minutes. Caldeums being one of the fastest mappers on Sin on day number 3 compared to like other builds I'm going to show you soon. This was definitely the strongest one, but it was also the most expensive one. So return on investment is pretty solid, but it does need that first investment into Infinity, into Phoenix, if you really want to get that speed. So yeah, that's pretty much the kicksin. Expensive but worth it kind of type of deal. So if you are looking to get into it, you can always check that out later. The next build we wanted to show was the Phoenix. As you can see, I'm maxing all of the Phoenix synergies. Some people don't max Blades of Ice because they don't proc it as much. I think that's like a solid approach to take once you have like facets and all of your stuff kind of going. I did not have any facets in my gear. We simply upgraded ourselves with an Infinity. The plan was to use 2 Stalker's Calls. Again, I may or may not have lost my Stalker's Call in a sandbox. So again, we are leveling pretty much the same. Claw and Dagger Mastery is your dump skill once you max synergies and get like 1 point in Blade Shield and 1 point in Dragon Flight. And we used the Bartux and the Phoenix mostly because I didn't have other stuff to use. I basically didn't have anything else that I had to put in Arcanes, Akira's for CBF and all resistances, and the Pierce for all the things. Martial arts, gloves that you can shop, string of ears that we self-drop, rings that we pretty much self-dropped as well. just the res rings with half freeze duration, and we used war travs not because we needed anything on the boots, but I just wanted to get more MF. So as you can see, you have like some leeway with the itemizations in terms of rings and boots. Annie and Torch, full martial arts skillers, and a bunch of small charms with resistances, maybe some life or MF, well, whatever you can get on them. Our breakpoint is 86 just because we're wearing arcanes, so we get like a lot of FHR. And the Merc uses Infinity, which is like your main investment for this build. Normally you'd run this with Stalkers for the movement, which is definitely what I felt I was missing. On day number 2, Phoenix was already really good on the budget situation, so it was already a solid mapper, giving us 8 to 10 minute maps on day number 2 on budget builds with Natalia set. So I already kind of recommended to run Phoenix if you'd like. On day number 3, we ran like a couple more maps to test like how much of an improvement does Infinity actually give you, how much of an improvement is it to run all these like arcanes, Kiras, like things like that. And the truth is that the improvement wasn't huge. We managed to get like a minute and a half to 2 minutes improvement. So a pretty narrow improvement, similar to how Fire Trappers was improved by Infinity. So generally speaking, if you're starting out and you're farming with Phoenix, but you don't want to continue with Phoenix, you don't really need the improvement. If you don't want to, you can see us here clearing like a tier 2 map at 9.5 minutes, which is pretty solid. Like Demon Road like took us about 12 minutes on day number 2. So on day number 3, getting it down by 2.5 minutes is pretty solid. For the Phoenix build, in my opinion, this was one of the more fun builds to play. So for people who haven't really experienced this build before, haven't really played it too much, I think this was pretty fun. I think this, like, I would recommend this, and budget wise it was very successful. So definitely a good season reset if you are planning to play the assassin. We moved on to Cobra build. The Cobra build, we used like a Bartux, yeah, I don't know why I moved away, Bartux, a Venom Runeward. So again, very budgety still. I'm pretty sure Cobra build was the most budgety approach both on day 2 and day number 3. We used an Armit simply to give us like the plus skills and get some faster block rate, letting us reach like the free frame breakpoint, which is 32 faster block rate. Bramble Runeward, that's your main investment after you get like your budget set up. It requires an Ohm and a Sur, so again, relatively cheap compared to other builds. Everything else is either crafted, shopped, or low budget. So you can see this self-crafted Blood Amulet, shopped gloves, string of ears that we dropped, half freeze duration, half freeze all res rings, simply to keep your resistances up, and some res boots that we slammed again, self-dropped, with a bunch of lightning res because that's what I was missing. Bramble itself will give you a lot of fire and poison res, so that's also like a big thing on it. The Merc doesn't use anything fancy because we didn't really need the Merc, if I'm being honest. We tried different Mercs. Generally, I think you're supposed to be using like an Act 1 Merc for a faster run walk, but they just kept dying all the time. So I kind of got rid of them. I don't really like them too much. Because you're teleporting a lot, like again, like you end up wanting to have like a tanky Merc, so I just end up running the Defiance Merc. If there are better Mercs for Cobra mapping, like anybody's welcomed and encouraged to tell me what they are. But we tried the Act 2 Merc, we tried the Act 1 Merc, we tried the Act 5 Merc, and none of them really made too much sense. It could be that like an Act 4 Merc with like a low resist on casting is like a solid option. I don't really know. I figured out that like probably like the end game of this is like running like a Innocence Ferocity Merc to simply tank a little bit for you, and maybe with like a Destruction Rune Ward to soften like the mobs, or maybe running like a Stormspire or something like that. Generally in terms of lowering our time, so on day number 2 on the Cobra build, we did like about 8 to 11 minutes on the maps. So again, pretty solid timing, pretty solid showing. We moved on to Caldeum Horizon, and we managed to clear actually between 6 to 7 minutes. That's pretty, in my opinion, that's pretty fast even. If the only investment you really need to make is making a bramble to get your mapping time to 6-7 minute tier 1 maps, I think that's pretty solid. I think Cobra probably has the best return of investment, which seems to be kind of like the theme with poison builds. They're very budgety to make. They don't require a lot to get working. It's mostly just making the bramble is like the thing that makes you kind of start working. So big encouragement on the Cobra build. Another benefit of the Cobra build is that doing your own declone and your own Raphma is actually pretty easy. This is something we're going to explore on day number 4. It might not make it to like a Racks to Riches video, but I'll try to release all that footage in the future. But yeah, Cobra build definitely recommended. If you are playing this Sin and you like poison builds, I would say Cobra is definitely a fun and solid build. You can run it with a Stalker's Call as well if you want more mobility. If only we had one, I would definitely show that too. Last build that we had showing was the Spin to Win Assassin with the hybrid physical poison approach. So we're maxing Claw and Block, maxing Burst of Speed, maxing Venom, maxing Cobra as a synergy to Venom. We put 1 point in Blade Shield and the rest we put into Weapon Block. And we weren't sure what to upgrade because most of our stuff was just kind of working with the Natalia set. So we were using Chaos, we were using Venom Rune Word. We tried also a different ED Claw to just try more ED based damage. We tried Veil of Steel, we tried like different approaches, more poison damage. Venom Grip stayed, we added Go Riders. So as you can see, yeah, the Chaos Rune Word, we tried like a crafted like a claw. So again, we crafted 50, not even 50, I think like 20 claws, and we got this one claw that was the highest ED one, so I kept it. And you don't have to have a claw if it's like not that good. You don't have to put like a Zod rune in it. You can just use it for a while till it breaks. They have quite a bit of durability. They don't lose it that fast. So you can just run something for a while and be pretty strong till you craft the next one. And I think that's a pretty solid approach. Some life and mana leech is necessary on your either rings, gloves, whatever you can get it. You can get like a drainers if you want. We were still running the hybrid approach with the poison damage, so I wanted the Venom Grip obviously for the extra poison skill damage and the crushing blow. But it's basically up to you. If you're using poison hybrid, you'll use some poison stuff. If you're using a physical approach, you'll focus on physical damage, so something like drainers would probably be best. But as you can see, the gear is generally still pretty cheap from day number 2. Similar to the Cobra build, this didn't really require a lot of investment. The most expensive addition was the Veil of Steel, and I basically just felt like I owed the build some sort of investment because I didn't really give it anything other than that. And I'm not sure what I'm looking for. Okay, yeah. We moved on to mapping. Generally speaking, this was the best mapper on day number 2, and one of the best mappers in general, like between all the classes. The Spin Assassin, as you can see, nothing really changed. As long as you keep your buffs up, you are definitely going to be mapping fast. And over here you can see us hop into a Horizon map. We got a Horizon map with Stamina Shrine. And we decided to, yeah, let's just do it. Let's see how it clears. And this is sped up, just so you can see. But I was just so amazed with how fast this Horizon was. This was one of the faster Horizons that I've cleared ever, pretty much. On like a, on one of these like budget approaches. So yeah, you can kind of see we are mostly full clearing. There are some stuff that we're skipping, just like a few, but for the most part, everything is dying, and everything is dying with like one spin too. So you really are not needing to try too hard. This build kills so fast that you don't have that much time to loot, and you really just want to keep going. I try to pick up gems because like in SSF you need like all these gems for crafting and for doing other stuff like re-rolling. But yeah, goddamn. Spin to Win Assassin is so strong, and generally speaking, you don't really need to invest much more than a Natalia set. I'm just gonna say it right here. I'm probably gonna keep farming on this with the Natalia set. I was planning to play mainly on Phoenix Assassin, but since I broke my Stalker Skulls, I'm probably just gonna farm a little bit on Spin to Win till I find new pairs of Stalkers. And as you can see, one half of this map took us 2 minutes and about 40 seconds, I think. It was with a stamina shrine. We got another stamina shrine in the map, so it is what it is, you know. Sometimes Senpai says speed up, okay, and you just gotta take the hint. But yeah, it was really fun to play this. I mean, it is a spin build. I like playing Barbarian, so this is not foreign to me. But I am kind of excited to play Phoenix in the future as well. I'd love to know what people are excited to play. Whatever the people who are playing Assassin gonna do on the reset. So let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. All the free simple actions that really help the channel, I really appreciate them. Even though I'm saying it all the time, maybe for people who are binge watching these as they're having their coffee, I really do appreciate them. It is really nice to see all the support, and yeah, I hope you enjoy the content. With that said, this is the end of the Rags to Riches mini-series to the Assassin class, and the next episodes are going to focus on the Paladin, which will be running on the date this is released. I don't know what date it is right now. It is the 28th of April 2025, not 4 apparently. So we're gonna start doing the Paladin, and on the Paladin, if you'd like to see any builds, make sure to suggest them. If you are suggesting any builds, make sure to leave a little bit of specificities. I don't know how you say that word. Make sure to leave some information, like what gear do you want me to use, what kind of budget approach would you have for it, what are like the upgrade items for it, how do you scale that kind of character, and what are your goals, or what are your preferred maps. So you can leave all that information. We have one more class to kind of complete this set of classes in terms of the Rags to Riches mini series, and once we're done, we're already going to be close to the beta, right? By the time we're done, I'm expecting it to be a Thursday. The beta releases on Saturday, Sunday. I'm not sure which day right now, but releases on one of these days. So we're getting very, very close to the beta. If there are things you're interested for the beta, things that you want me to test, things that you just want shown on this channel, displayed for everybody to see, make sure to drop them too in the comments, just so I can kind of add them to my list. I've started compiling lists from the comments and the Twitch chatters. So look forward to that too in a week from now or so. With that said, thank you all for watching. I hope I'll see you on the next stream or in the next video, and have a good whatever you're having. Bye 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 bye.